into the mouth of madness. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rata and Glory. I am kicking off a new series called Creating ComicsGate. Episode 1. We're going to focus on Indiegogo campaign pages from the fan consumer perspective. Cheers. Several creators who have been relatively successful have offered their input and thoughts on what makes a successful campaign page, but I don't think anyone from the fan perspective has really chimed in and given input on when you're someone who is going to spend money on something, like what is it that we respond to, what is it, what works, what doesn't, how can you streamline your campaign page and make it as strong as possible when it comes to pushing people to that decision to invest in your project. So that's what I want to dive into. Let's get started here, and I want to start with a very successful campaign in terms of kind of a newcomer to this wasn't someone that was coming off of some pro run in comic books, but he's made a huge splash in ComicsGate, and his campaign page is it more or less represents exactly what works. And I want to get into why. So when you hit a campaign page, the video, I have to be honest, as someone who has backed more than 30 campaigns, and let's I want to show that, just so I'm not just talking out of my ass, that I'm not 35 campaigns I've backed. These are all comic books. This is all ComicsGate. So I'm someone who, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I respond to as a fan, as someone who invests money into projects. So I just kind of wanted to get that out there, that this isn't just someone who's backed one or two projects. I am fully invested in ComicsGate, and there are things that absolutely work and things that don't. So when it comes to Deathsworn, first, the whole video thing. Yeah, maybe you just kind of need to have a video, some kind of intro video. I would recommend a minute to a minute 30 tops. If you're going over that, trust me, you're boring people to tears. It's too long. Get it down to a minute. A minute really is tops, but I honestly have not looked at there has not been a single video for a campaign that has made me want to invest in a comic book. I just don't care. I don't even watch them. I never watch the videos. Could care less about them. The first thing almost anyone who hits your campaign page is going to do is go, where's the first piece of art? That's it. That's what people are doing. If you think otherwise, you're completely mistaken. Look at how little text there is, okay, on this campaign page before it gets to the first piece of art. This is optimal right here. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines barely of text before you get to the first major art drop. That's absolutely perfect. He gives me the page count right up front. I know it's full color because everything I'm looking at is full color. And, please give the page count. We want to know what the page count is right. Don't make us look for that shit. Don't make us scroll down and try and find where it says how many pages it is. We want to make sure it's got a legitimate page count for the price. Give that to us right up front. Especially if you're doing it like an 80 plus page, this is added value. So we want to know that up front. Get to the art absolutely as soon as possible. And it has to be finished, polished. You put your best foot forward. This cannot be expressed enough. When I look at the Deathsworn page and I scroll down to look at this piece. What I want you to do as a creator when you're producing a campaign page, I want you to count down from 10. Do a slow, proper 10-second countdown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we have not, as someone who is a potential buyer of your comic book, if we have not hit the best artwork that you want to show us in that first 10 seconds, you've failed. That's mission failure right there. It's already over. You have to give people the tone, the embodiment of what your project is going to be in 10 seconds, and that's no joke. We don't want a big lengthy text component at the top. This will kill your campaign page quicker than anything. If the art is done right and correctly, it is going to convey the world that your characters inhabit. It's going to give us the tone. This is the comic book medium. Artwork is where That's what's going to grab your customer base. Boom. I'm not saying there aren't exceptions to this, but it's the artwork that's going to grab your audience. And once we're hooked, yeah, some people are going to scroll that. They're going to get more of that story vibe. They're going to, they're going to want to learn more about what this thing is. And that's fine. Put that stuff down below. We don't want to get overloaded with text up front. It just doesn't work. And keep your, Death Sworn, boom, right at the top, featured. He's got something that he's like, this is going to appeal to the majority of people. They're going to want this, this, and this. Give it as a featured right at the top. They're like, bam, ooh, that's it. Clicking it, And then if you've got more than 7 tiers or perks, you're overkilling. You're confusing your customers. I would say optimal is like 5 tiers. That's, if you're going over that, this one just, some tiers get added if a campaign is doing well and, you feel like, okay, maybe I need to add a tier because this is getting a lot of engagement and people want something more, then add another tier. But like initially, I think campaigns should have, 5 perk tiers maximum. Keep it simple. It's like, if you're familiar with like In-N-Out Burger, it's kind of that's a States thing. If you're not familiar with In-N-Out Burger, it's kind of a higher end, higher quality fast food joint that offers burgers and fries, and the menu is burgers and fries. They don't offer any other nonsense. It's like you go there because you want burger and fries. Keep that menu clean. Make sure what you're doing is awesome. Don't overwhelm your customer with choices. Just keep it simple. Make the choice easy. Overloading people, it never works. So this is an example of a really solid campaign page. This is, and obviously people have responded to it well. Moving on. Let's see what we got here. Six Gun Gorilla. Okay. Now this is a book that I absolutely think should be in that over $30,000 range. I think this book is going to rock, and there's a lot of reasons I think that. But here's, the video image is good. Again, I don't care about the videos. Not going to watch it. But we run into some problems here, and this is the tier images over here are a little bit washed out because this is a closed campaign. It's not in demand anymore. He's in the process of fulfilling this campaign. But there is here's an example of, you've got this huge chunk of text up here, and especially if the writer of a campaign is producing the campaign page, there's an absolute tendency to put too much importance on story and what the world is, what the concept is, because we get it. The writers are going to be proud of that. They want that to be a focal point, and it's important to your book. But make no mistake about it. We want art. We want the art up front. We want to know what we want. It's a visual medium. That's what really gets comic book readers off. Anybody who says different is lying to you. And then here's the secondary issue I have with this campaign page is this first page that's shown to me is probably the weakest page of the entire campaign page. If this was all I had to go on, there's no damn way. I don't think I would back this book based on this. Why don't show anything but your absolute best piece of work up front. Make sure it's that thing that's just going to punch people in the gut. It's got to be good. It's got to be your best foot forward every time. And then it starts getting it, and I'm like, oh, whoa, okay, what is this? Now it's starting to look into. Now I'm getting enticed. But it took too long. Okay, you've got 10 seconds to grab people by the balls, or the vajayjay, whichever. It's equal opportunity. But it's gotta happen sooner. This is the image right here. This is the image. That's the image you put at the top, without question. Look at that shit. Gorilla shooting a badass gun. The colors are fantastic. The art is fantastic. The composition of the pieces. This needs to be right here. And it needs to be right here. Right after this. Push this story component all the way to the bottom. If people want that, they'll go find it. Probably after they've already given you money. Then they'll go be like, oh, what's this? Okay, well, what's the story about now? That piece needs to go right here, front and center. And I'm not going to say that's why this is this should be a campaign that's over $30,000 in my opinion. This is it's an incredible book from an incredible creator. I think the campaign page, there's some major missteps here because this is the first thing people are seeing. You're giving them a bunch of text, and then the first thing at art, a lot of people could have they're already gone at this point. So you just got to keep it in mind. hit them with the best you've got right out of the gate. Get the artwork in front of them as quickly as possible. Okay, let's move on. Now, this is from Ouroboros Moon, and I don't, I'm not trying to. This isn't about being mean or cruel or anything, because this is a book I've considered, I'm considering backing this. I haven't, but there are some key reasons for this. So when we scroll down here, okay, we've got this really, there's some really complex pencils on display, really small though, can't really see what's going on. Then it drops into story. Then there's this weird symbol. I don't know what this is. How does this, and it's pixelated. This isn't high, this doesn't look quality. And I don't know what it means. It doesn't mean anything to me. Okay, got more text. We got more pencil work here. I mean, it looks cool. I like what I'm seeing, but this is not a finished piece of work. Illustration and pages. And I'm like, okay, some more pretty solid. These are solid pencils. I'm seeing some great detail. There's a lot of talent here. But where, okay, I don't know. Then we drop into this, which is like, is this style with inks on it? Or this is problematic because I don't know what's happening here. These look like it's a completely different thing. I don't know what this is. We've got some more fairly solid pencil work here. It's all pencils. Okay. We've got all this information. It goes on. And is there I don't see a single finished page of art here. It's a mess. It doesn't give me the confidence to back this. I don't know what the finished book is going to look like. I'm not understanding it. There's a part here. Let's see where it gets to the team. It says there's a colorist, right? Where's team? I don't know why the artist is at the end. Anyway, okay, so it's supposed to be, it's a full color book, and there's not a single full color page on. If you don't have 5 completely finished, fully penciled, inked, and colored pages, they don't have to have lettering. If you don't want to give away any of the story with the lettering, that's fine. It's cool. I think it's preferred for people to see the total package of what you're producing. But you have to at least have 5 fully finished pages for us to see. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm getting here. I'm not confident that you can deliver, that you're not showing me anything finished. This doesn't work. It just doesn't. You've got to give people a total sense of the finished product that you're going to deliver into their hands. And again, I don't want to pick on Ouroboros Moon or this project specifically, because I actually think there's a lot of potential here. I'm interested in backing this project, but it doesn't feel like you were ready to launch your campaign yet. Or if you have finished artwork, you need to update this page and put your best foot forward, and structure this page in a way that instantly grabs people. I did want to dive into an exception, and there are tons of it. There are no absolutes in anything, but the stock alpha from Literature Devil, it's something of an exception. Okay, it's doing really well. Anything over 30,000 from an indie comic creator they don't have a track record of making comic. This is an amazing achievement. It's a huge achievement to hit that benchmark. And I'm scrolling down here, and this is the first piece of art. It's like, okay, it's clever. It's playing off of a trope. Ask me about my feminist agenda. It's funny, but it's not. There's nothing mind-blowing about this artwork here. And then you go down, and I'm looking at this, and it's like, oh, okay, artwork's pretty simplistic. It's got this red boxes for the letter. It's not impacting me as a very professional presentation. And that's it. That's all I get. There's a T-shirt. This is on the surface of things, and these it's funny. Again, it's a Fear and Loathing reference. I appreciate it. But it's like, it's very disjointed, disconnected. It's kind of all over the place. And this is, presumably the cover, not great artwork. But here's the thing. This, Literature Devil is coming at you. I mean, the name is Literature Devil. So what he's kind of promising is something exceptional on the story end, on the literature end, the writing. And He's gotten into good graces of EBS, so he has regular appearances on a really big, influential channel. He's got a strong YouTube platform himself. There are exceptions. You can make it work without following the basic rules. It's just rare. This is not a campaign I would have backed under normal circumstances. Just looking at it, it wouldn't have grabbed me. I'm not impressed by it. I'm not impressed by the page. I'm not impressed by the art, the presentation of this thing. But he was able to frame it from a more intellectual story angle and get a lot of support and praise from prominent people. And he made it work. It's possible. But imagine if he had had those things going for him and delivered the impact of a Deathsworn campaign page with incredible art. And if it had been a total package where you were like, okay, this guy's going to deliver something exceptional on the writing front, on the story front and character front. It's going to be hyper intelligent. And it had a gut punch in terms of the art and presentation on the page. This thing could have broke 100,000. Who knows? But there are ways to succeed. There are always different pathways to succeed with a campaign. But there are fundamental rules that will work for you. And there are things that there are things that an investor, that a fan, that a consumer of a comic book is just, you've got a short amount of time to grab our attention, to make us believe in your project. And unless you have some major support from big channels or big comic skaters, if you're just coming into this as an unknown, you really have to put your best foot forward in every sense of the word. I think that's all I wanted to say on that. Hopefully it helps some creators out. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next episode.